Hello and welcome to the Empower You podcast. I'm your host, Kenston Henderson, founder and CEO of Live with Lyfe, where we help groups and organizations get unstuck and equip them to achieve their professional development goals through keynote speaking and corporate professional and youth development training services. This podcast was created and designed to ignite, inspire, and empower you and equip you to find and operate in your purpose. Whether you are an adult or a youth, this podcast will help you declutter your life to include healthy self-leadership practices. The first series that we're kicking off here in 2021 will showcase the journey to becoming a self-published author. Is that you? If that is you, or you know someone who is a self-published author, please connect them with me, as I would love to have them featured on this podcast series. In today's episode number 3, we have as our featured author, my friend and sister from a different mister, Robin Underwood. Robin Robin Underwood is an award-winning international speaker. She has spoken to thousands of people in all 50 U.S. states, 27 countries, and 5 continents. Come on now. She is a 2-time Amazon best-selling author. She has worked with numerous organizations, Fortune 500 companies, universities, healthcare, and military. Inspirational, motivational, educational are just some of the accolades Robin has received from clients. As a speaker, trainer, and life executive coach for more than 18 years, Robin has helped thousands of people in numerous organizations achieve success in every aspect of life. Her unique ability to motivate, educate, and change lives makes her the ideal speaker for your next event. So Robin's book that she authors is called Fat Girls Don't Eat French Fries. I'm going to say that again. Fat Girls Don't Eat French Fries. Come on, Robin. How you doing?
How are you? Thank you for having me. And
Well,
let me just start with this. Us fluffy girls, we do eat French fries, but the concept of this book is just so deep that that's just kind of the fun tag that gets you in, sucks you in, and helps you to enjoy. So thanks for having me. I
no
appreciate it.
problem. I'm excited. So tell me about this. Tell me about your book, because that's a catchy title.
Well, it really is. And it came from a comment that my mother had made years
Mm,
ago. But let me start with this. I traveled, as you said, gosh, when I sit and I listen to that bio, I think, man, I've been around. I've been around, right? So I was, you know, in arenas and conferences and seminars and large and small
yeah,
groups, and almost after every single time I spoke, someone would come up and they would hug me and they would say, I love your stories and you need to write a book. And so years had gone by and it was in the back of my head, I kind of need to do that. And in our
yeah,
industry, that's sort of a hook, that's a
yeah,
way for you to get into events. It's a way
yeah,
for you to just get known, right? Just to
yep,
network a little bit and kind of be, um, a little bit more well rounded, I guess.
yeah,
And I just thought, you know what? The first thing was I was scared to death because, it's funny how you can have an event and you tell all these stories and you tell, the things that are in the book that resonate with people and make them feel real. But I thought if it's in writing, that makes it really real. Right?
yeah,
It was just too, it was
yep,
going to be too much. It was going to make me feel too vulnerable. It was going to be too transparent. I didn't want the world to know my story. And I remember sitting with a friend of mine who had been going through just an ugly divorce. And
yeah,
there's a piece of that in this book of just going through trying times. And she said, "You have such a story. Shame on you for keeping it to yourself."
woo,
And then I published it. I mean, it was just like right after that, I thought, okay, let's do this. It's not going to be pretty, and that's probably one of the best pieces of advice I give to people. I heard it from a friend of mine, Dr. Jonathan Peters, one time. He said, "Just make it dirty, make it messy, throw it down, get it on paper.
get it on,
We'll figure it all out later, right?" And
yeah,
that's what I did. And so to kind of go back to your original question of like, what's this book really about?
yeah,
it's it's kind of how we see ourselves
mm,
and how others see us and how very different that picture is. And so I do have a copy, and I don't know if you can see the picture
Yeah.
on the front cover is, how we see ourselves in the mirror, but how
Yeah.
other people see us as beautiful and just vibrant and all of these things, and we question that. So the
Mm-hmm.
book has everything to do with fear, vulnerability, just life, just
Yeah.
the knockdown curveballs, just bumps in the road, and how you can literally pick yourself up, brush yourself off, move
Yeah.
yourself on, and realize that we're in this together. We'll
Yeah.
get this done. We'll figure it out. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah,
And so did you have a particular audience in mind? I think you kind of described a little bit,
yeah.
who would read this book? Who should pick this up?
So it's funny that you ask that, because originally it was, a lot of my groups were women's conferences, women of faith-based conferences, just different things, and it was
Yeah.
always going to be just, I thought women had, confidence issues, self-esteem issues, and things like that. And I had a friend of mine bought it for his daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
he said, I picked it up one day and I read it, and he said, I got to be honest with you, men can really relate to this book as well.
Yeah.
And so it totally changed a completely different narrative of just, this is people, all shapes, all sizes, all races.
Yeah.
And so, I learned in a marketing class one time that you just need to have this niche, and we think that we have to
Yeah.
brand big scheme. And really, it was just, I wanted to make sure that I was very laser light focused in the, in the demographic, and it
Yeah.
just grew.
Yeah.
I was in a conference in Atlanta full of a bunch of NFL and collegiate, and there's these guys going, this is really funny and this is really good.
Yeah.
So it just took on an entire demographic that I didn't even expect. So,
Yeah.
it goes back to childhood issues that everybody has something that they've been challenged with.
Yeah.
So that's where I think that went. I don't know
See,
how to really.
listen, no, and that's the craziness of it all, because they do tell us to, narrow it down, have a focused demographics in mind, but in reality, this book can impact many people
Right.
outside of the demographics. So, not necessarily putting yourself in a box, but you have a group in mind, but be open enough that it's probably gonna touch some other different people as well.
Right.
So
Right.
that's cool. That's cool. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the barriers that you face going through the self-published author piece.
Well, I think one was the fear of getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we continually make excuses that everything else is a priority. And, I'll get it done, I'll get it done, I'll get it done. But eventually, I really had to just be very, very open and honest with myself and say,
Yeah.
you're the one holding yourself back because of this. I want to make everybody happy. I want everybody to like it. I
Yeah.
wanted everything to go well. I wanted my book signing. I did a book signing with, like, I think it was 30 different cities.
Wow.
And in, one city, there's lots of people. In the other city, there was two. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. And
Yeah.
it was just all really a learning lesson.
Yeah.
But and I think that if I could give some advice or suggestions to the folks that are watching, that if
Definitely.
you are wanting to figure out how to get published, reach out to those of us who have done it, and don't make the same mistakes, because some of these mistakes can
Whew.
be very, very costly and not necessary. And so once I figured it out, that was the easy part. And it was just trial and error. And now it doesn't have to be that, because we have such great avenues and things like this.
Yeah.
These conversations and dialogue absolutely bring to the forefront. Don't do this, don't do that. I think a lot of people want to paint this lovely picture that it was so easy and it was great and I get to autograph and people love me. And
Yeah.
that is not the truth. It is not the truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's definitely all good jewels that I hope people are listening and picking it up on, because again, like you said, something real great. And the fact that you don't have to do it alone. Uh, you got people like us who's been through the process, who's bumped their head already. Why would you want to bump your head too when you can go
Right.
straight to getting it done? Right. Again, we're trying to we want you to release your story into the world because somebody needs to hear it. And one thing my wife always says is like, by you waiting to produce your book, who is waiting for you, who's actually waiting for you to
Yeah.
produce what you're supposed to produce into the world. And so I encourage you, those who wanting to be self-published authors, you can do it. And so just connect and make it happen. And so I want to round this out, Robin, can you tell people where to find your book?
Well, I thought about it earlier, and I didn't realize, like pre-COVID times, I had an event that I had ordered a bunch of books. They're in boxes, in my closet. And I thought, first I'll just tell everybody to do Amazon. But I had this event that got canceled. And I have these books that are here in my possession. And I would love, 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 love to give a personal touch and autograph it for folks.
Nice.
So, and I thought, let's cut out the middleman. We could do Cash App or PayPal or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to I think what $13 is what it is on Amazon. Let's do $10. I'll ship it to
Nice.
you. That's shipping including. Like, why not? Let's just do this for your fan club and your group and
Yeah.
anybody that wants one. We'll just, that'll just, pay for my cost as far as shipping.
Yeah.
But like, just get the word out and see what it is and help people.
Yeah.
I'm completely cool with that. If you're cool with that, just,
Yeah.
my email or inbox me. I'm
Yeah.
fine. And I've
Yeah.
got some time. I can find some books.
We in
We've got
COVID still. We got time.
we're at home. We got some time. I can handle that. So
We got some time.
and I
So
think the
yeah,
thing with this book too that people will find is that there's a reflection after every chapter, there's suggestions after every chapter, and there's encouragement after every chapter. So even if you're going, not just if you want to become a published author, but if you're going through something,
yeah,
and I can give you a little nugget or two just to
yeah,
kind of make it past a terrible day,
yeah.
that in and of itself I think is good too. So
That's good. That's good. So, my good sister Robin is all for impacting lives. As you've heard, as you've seen, please support her by purchasing her book. Again, purchase everybody's book who's going to be on these episodes because we are self-published authors. Please do not go through Amazon. We love Amazon.
we
It's
love it.
great. However, as a self-published author, we don't get the proceeds from that. If we do, it's very little. We got to be somebody great, like a Michelle Obama, or somebody who can
Right.
get 80 million copies
Millions
out.
of copies. Yeah.
So we on our way though, right? And all of our self-published authors are on their way, but we need the local help to continue to spread our word, to spread the messages out like Robin's. And again, you're going to be inspired by her book. So please support her. Later on, I will have her email address, website, anything that you'll need to stay in touch with Robin. Please connect with her, follow her, and let's just continue to support each other in this effort. So this has been today's episode of the Empower You Podcast Authorship Series. Thank you, Robin, for being on this
Thank
show with
you.
us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.